There and taps his hands and you're just sitting there and sit there and rock back and forth in the chair like in a big old murderer or whatever he is convicted. Up to this point of a case, not in handcuffs, not in shackles, one or the other or both, and in orange.
Oh, it's getting more dramatic, isn't it? Yeah, it sure is. Idaho versus Kohberger. Yep. Hello, everybody. Excited utterance here. My name's Hella. Boom. Isn't it interesting the way these things just drop all at once, right? Isn't it interesting? And isn't it kind of interesting the way this judge has decided to stop the sealing of the exhibits and the documents just in time for the lead up to trial and the media to just go nuts with speculation? Isn't that interesting? And look, I like transparency as much as anybody else. Right? Like, good. Yeah, that's good. But we've been sort of starved of information for a long period of time, and now we're suddenly starting to get a bunch of information flow through. And you know what's being ignored? The stuff from the defense is being ignored, and the stuff from the state, if it's in any way incriminating whatsoever, it blows up. It absolutely becomes front page, huge. Now we have a photo. Now we have a photo of Bryan Kohberger apparently looking so pleased with himself that he just murdered 4 people. Looking so creepy and disturbing. Narcissist. Hey everybody. Hey Shammy. How are you? Hello Hellions. Love it. Mavka. How'd they even have probable cause to arrest Bryan? That IGG shit wouldn't fly in Michigan, you think? You think? Oh, I wouldn't be too sure about that. Mavka. Love the blouse. Oh, it's a dress, actually. Thank you. Hey, Sweet Tooth Barry. How's the collecting going? What's up, beautiful waterfall? What's up? I think she mixed up the date or cancelled. Stop it, Mavka. Stop it. Hey, bye, friends. How are you? How are you? How are you? Sarita here somewhere. Oh, Hella Raid on Hella's page. Yeah. Hey, Sarita Banana. Love ya. Love ya. Who else we got? Scott. Scott was first. Yeah. And Dude Wipe says he's so handsome. Look, he's not a bad looking dude, but I gotta say, this is not the best photo of him. Definitely not the best photo. Hey, Travion. Wagner can make anyone seem guilty. Who's Wagner? Basking in the beauty of my favorite Aussie. Oh, thanks. Thanks. All right, time to bring my friend in. Oh, he's kind of my friend sometimes. Oh dear, that was terrible.
I got a crick in my neck.
One more try. Oh, you looked the wrong way. Are we out of practice or something? Jeez. MLS Making Law Simple has been a member for 10 months. Only 10 months? That's weird. That's weird.
Because he was being gifted memberships for a while.
That's right, he was being gifted memberships for a while. Dear me, David. Just right on the old bandwagon you were. I can't really talk. I'm not a member of your channel anymore.
Well,
I was for a long time, like for over a year. And then, there was that thing that happened when you got demonetized and lost your channel. But I would be a member if I could be. Do you have a monetized channel anymore?
Lego, I think.
Does he?
For now.
Oh, okay. What do you mean for now? What are you going to do?
Mm.
All right, I will go and become a member. But thank you for being a member for 10 months and also for all your support and friendship and everything. I think you're great. How did they get the video? What video are we talking about, Half Irish?
Do you mean?
Oh, we'll talk about that in a minute. The song in my intro, Wagner. Oh, Wagner as in the ring. Yes, sorry, I didn't know what you meant. And Devil-Eyed Elvis, that's so nice of you. I'm here as promised. You did promise you'd be here. You did, but I didn't expect any donations like that, but that's very sweet of you.
Thank you.
$50. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Devil-Eyed Elvis. Lovely. And yeah, I did see on X that you said that you would be here. So much appreciated. We're
Yes.
going to have a look at this photo today because
Evil.
I'm curious about it. Oh, yeah, it's very evil. It's very, very evil. But yeah.
Black eyes.
There's a really good reason why they think that this photo is so relevant. Not just because it was taken on that day, supposedly, but we'll have a look at the motion that went along with it. And Dylan's words, when she did her interview with the police, not interrogation, interview with the police, went very well along with this photo. So there you go. Dali, embarrassed for ending something prematurely.
My last stream.
Yeah, I blame Sal for the gifts. Oh,
Man.
it's all his fault. I watched the Control Alt Desire series about Gran Amado yesterday. Oh, did you? Okay. We're the best duo. Oh, isn't that nice?
I mean, we hate
Aw.
each other, but yeah, we're a good
do.
duo.
Yeah, we're nice to each other on here, kind of. And then once it's over, we're just like, fucking hate you, bye.
Bye.
All right, cool. Let's get into this. Oh, did he? What?
Well, really? It was new software, and I'm going back to my old software.
Yes. And you need an outro. Oh, sorry, that's my fault. I need to make you an outro. Okay, let's get into this. So I thought, rather than just me reading documents and opening up the photo and stuff straight away, how about we watch one of the fact-based and unbiased reporters doing a little 4-minute clip, which is what they do so that the people can feel so informed about what's going on, right? So this is kind of more what this stream is about, right? Because here's the thing. Everyone else is streaming about Bryan Kohberger. Everyone else is doing all the deep dives and all that kind of stuff. And listen, I could stream for 4 hours every day about Bryan Kohberger. I've got other things to do, and there's other channels who are doing that. So there's plenty of places you can watch all that stuff, right? I've always been really interested on this channel as to how the media and social media react to the cases that we're following and how that influences the actual outcomes of those cases. So let's have a look at what Ms. Ashley Banfield and Brian Anton are saying, and let's have a little bit of a think about how that may influence the potential juror pool, shall we? Let's go. Doo-doo-doo. Hello, Ashley. How are you? She's not my favorite person. She's not my favorite person. And probably help if I bring the right tab up. Oh, yeah.
News Nation senior national correspondent Bryan Kohberger, who's been covering this case since the very beginning. Bryan, I know that literally up until this moment, you have been going through these court docs, and I think you're still going through them. So there may be more shoes to drop, but let's start with what we know.
It's literally your job, Bryan.
And let's just start with that Kabar knife, because, I felt like the biggest moment in this case was that they found the knife sheath. And then the second biggest moment was that they figured out DNA on the snap, that little spot here on the knife sheath, the thing that snaps it shut. That's where that little tiny speck of DNA was, and that it matched Bryan Kohberger.
You know what's going to happen next? She's going to be a suspect in a quadruple homicide.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
Wouldn't that? Oh, she touched the sheath. That sounds dirty, right? But she touched the sheath, and I bet she just left it somewhere. It's like a prop, right? She just left it somewhere, and some stagehand or something is going to go off and stabby someone and leave the sheath. Leave it. And guess whose DNA is on that sheath? Ashley's. Guilty. See, that's how it's Safa.
Kohberger. But now we have him in court documents from Amazon buying a Kabar knife, a sheath, and a sharpener.
Yeah, more than 100 pages of court documents came out just within the last couple of hours, and this was buried in the documents. And you mentioned it. I mean, this is a massive deal. This is a huge, huge piece of evidence, something very, very helpful to the prosecution. They are saying that between March 20th and March 30th of 2022, so that would be about 8 months before the murders happened, that Bryan Kohberger, through his Amazon account, bought the Kabar knife, bought the sheath, and also bought a sharpener.
Don't you love the way he says, the Kabar knife, the sheath, right? It's definitely the one. Yeah. Not even the state has said it's the one, right? They're not even that confident to go out and say it's the one, right? Because it's never been found. The knife has never been found. This guy.
So what I thought was also interesting, and I may be superimposing my thoughts over their documents here, but
because you
it felt to me
it.
that the prosecution was making its case by saying we did not cherry pick. We didn't cherry pick anything. What we did was we found a purchase of what was a murder weapon, similar to a murder weapon and a sheath. And also we looked at other activity, and never did he seem to be a hunter. Never did he seem to be a fisherman buying this stuff all the time. It seemed to be just this one time that he bought this kind of weapon.
Yeah, they looked at all of the activity, all of the Amazon activity for several different time periods leading up to the murders. And what's interesting is the way we found this out is there's these filings going back and forth between the defense and the prosecution, because the defense is trying to get a lot of this Amazon information and Amazon activity thrown out. Obviously,
how dare
now we
they?
know why. It's damning to Bryan Kohberger.
Damning. Okay, so what he is leaving out is this is really common in motions in limine, right?
Sure.
The thing is that everyone's seeing this all come being fleshed out in real time, and they're not used to it. It's a big case, and so every document is being opened up and poured over. Motions in limine generally are about what is allowed in and what is not allowed in at trial.
How much was Judge putting these under seal as well?
Almost everything.
So,
right?
I mean, this judge is a fan of transparency, which kudos to him for that. But this is the first time all of a sudden we're now actually seeing stuff because the judge is allowing us to, basically.
Yeah, so there, what we would generally see before, we know there would be a motion in limine, but
Yeah.
then we'd know that we'd see the motion for it to be sealed,
Yeah.
and especially the exhibits. So we'd never see the exhibits. So something like the photo, no way would we see it prior. And I think the state's taking advantage of that.
Yes.
But anyway, but regardless, it's not unusual. Like what Brian Endon is sort of making out, like it's some sort of dramatic moment that that the defense is trying to get the Amazon search information thrown out. Like,
Yeah.
how could they? Like, it's so terrible they're trying to get it thrown out. Of course they're trying to get it thrown out. There's a bunch of irrelevant stuff in there. His click history, his browsing history, what they show you when you go onto Amazon, you know how they show you a bunch of suggested stuff? That's going to be in there as well, right? So now the state comes back with this other piece of information that they have a purchase under the Kohberger account. Now, P.S., it's the Kohberger account. It's not only Brian's account. It's a family account.
Family,
okay. You know how you got Amazon Prime?
Sure.
Right?
I had that for a while.
You know how people like log into their, they get, because you got to pay for it, right? Yeah. So it's not necessarily Brian's purchase. And the state haven't even said that they are sure that it is. They're going to try and put that forth at trial. But Bryan Endon here, he's just flat out going, no, Brian purchased it. The state's saying Brian purchased it. And then it's the murder weapon. Now, this is a major news network, right? They get a lot of views. A ton.
Well, it's a major
One
network.
of them. Yeah, not news network, just network. Right? So it really bothers me that they just take this information and run with it, and it's quite inaccurate.
Yeah, it's very misleading.
It's misleading. Yes, correct. All right, let's keep going.
Drives me crazy.
So they've been saying, hey, the state is cherry picking. Some of this stuff shouldn't be included. And in those filings back and forth, that's where this massive tidbit was, right? Buried in the documents that Bryan Kohberger had bought the knife sheath on Amazon.
Sure will be interested to find out what his answers are to where is that knife that you proudly bought. It wasn't in any of, well, we don't know, but I didn't see it on a manifest of any of the search warrants at his apartment or in Pennsylvania. I didn't see a Kabar knife, a knife sharpener, or a knife sheath in anything that they were able to seize from all the places that they searched of his. So it would be interesting if this had nothing to do with anything, then where's your precious Kabar knife that you spent all that money on, on Amazon back in March? And he, better have a pretty good answer for that. Let me jump to that selfie.
Oh, here we go.
It just sent chills down my spine to see him showered up and giving the thumbs up and being super proud, looking freshly washed right in front of the shower. And this was exactly at, was it 10:39, that photograph that was taken?
10:31 a.m.
10:31.
November 13th. So the day of the murders. The murders happened sometime around 4 a.m. This is 10:31 a.m. I was looking at it really closely. It looks like maybe he's in the bathroom, like in front of a shower, if you look closely. And this, again, was just sort of buried in these new court documents. We haven't really seen photos of him like this before, but they recovered this photo from his phone. And the reason that the prosecution is so interested in this photo is because of roommate Dylan's account that he had, that whoever came into their home had bushy eyebrows. That was one of the main things that she said. So this is apparently the photo closest to that time period of when the murders happened. And the prosecution wants to use this photo at trial to show the jury so they can look at this picture for themselves and decide whether or not, he's got bushy eyebrows.
Wow, super clever, right? Prosecutors can say, this is 10:30.
Jack, that is the best chat ever.
Oh, I can't believe I didn't think of that.
Feeling cute. May delete more people later. XOXO BK. That's freaking awesome.
Oh.
Oh dear, if I could give out an award for best chat, I would. Dude.
30 in the morning, and look at the bushy eyebrows that, you know, couldn't have possibly been plucked 6 hours before if this is the guy that Dylan saw. But you know, there's the double entendre here, and that is he is freshly showered and proud. Why? 6 hours after the murders and an hour and a half prior to the 911 call even being placed. This is the photo he is taking of himself in front of the
He's
shower.
proud.
Thanks for watching.
Oh, this bit.
Maybe he finally got his constipation taken care of.
And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.
Fact-driven? My God. Well, I mean, really, it's all over, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it is, guys.
Because look at this. Again.
So that's what he was doing.
Right. Play it again.
Hi.
Hi. Have you seen my mom?
It's not real.
It's not. It's AI. And you know what's interesting about AI and Bryan Kohberger is there's so much data of his face, side, angled, etc., because of the photos of him that have been fed into the internet over the last couple of years, that you can make him do anything, right?
Yeah.
You can make really convincing AI of Bryan Kohberger. If I go into Grok and I say, draw Bryan Kohberger swimming through a sea of documents, it will make Bryan Kohberger swim through a sea of documents. Not kidding. And it looks so much like him.
Yeah.
It's
the
scary.
only issue with that was it had like a towel in the shower, hung up in the shower.
Oh, go back?
Play it again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the towel?
Oh. There.
Oh, is that a towel? I thought it was a chair.
No, that's a towel, I think.
Oh, okay. I thought it was really
In the
weird that there
shower.
was like a chair sitting there.
Yeah. That's like the only kind of mistake there.
Who cares?
Oh,
Therefore,
and they
never said-
kept the headphones in too. That's interesting.
Oh, look at that. They kept the headphones.
That is creepy.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Wow. They spell it PHACT driven news for liability reasons. Fact driven. Thank you for the $4.99 also.
No, it's not real.
It is not real. And that's the scary thing though, right? You are not going to even be able to tell. People could make any shit out of this, and this is just the start, right? This is just the start. Photo like this, there's going to be thousands of altered versions and AI versions of this now. Like as memes, but also you won't even remember.
They're going to
the
try
real
to
one is.
pose them as serious.
Yeah. Good question. So let's get to the actual photo, shall we? And I'll bring it up first.
Thought this was it.
That's not. Well, that is the photo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, with the photo, people are on the internet, they're all going on about how he doesn't have a shower curtain. There's no shower curtain, and no shower curtain was found in his apartment. He must have gotten rid of it because it had so much blood on it. What the hell is that thing on the right-hand side?
Yep.
Looks like a goddamn shower curtain to me. Right? I mean, call me stupid.
And in case anybody has trouble, it's right there. That's the shower curtain.
I think he's wearing the earphones, like earphones that go back over the head. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone said that they were like Bluetooth, those things that go over the back of your ear, but no, I don't think so. I think it goes all the way
They
back
could be
around there.
waterproof or whatever. I mean, if he
Yeah.
just took a shower, maybe wants some tunes while
Yeah.
he's, doesn't want to bother anybody else in the house because he's considerate.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna bring the photo up because I just want to look closer at it. And after I bring the photo up, then I'll go back to the document because the document refers to, well, the state talks about why Dylan and her testimony is so relevant to this photo, right? She talks a lot about the bushy eyebrows, like a lot. Like it's almost like verbal diarrhea, bushy eyebrows, bushy eyebrows, bushy. She doesn't remember much else about him except the bushy eyebrows, right? So, let's have a look. Yeah, I'll bring that to stage. Okay.
Do you want me to move our stuff?
What stuff?
Our pictures?
No.
Okay.
Oh, good. All right. So I got this directly out of the PDF. So the state has given this document, this image, as an exhibit, and you can see it's got this exhibit number in the bottom right-hand corner, right? So it's just part of a PDF, which means they probably just place the image down in whatever software package they're using, right? So they probably are using Word or some garbage software like that, right? Sorry, people who like Word. And therefore, the image has already been downgraded because they would have placed it and then exported it as a PDF, right? So it's gone through a compression process just in order to do that. Who knows if it was even the original image that they placed in there? Don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
Could have just been a
But
paste or whatever.
yeah, exactly. It could be a screenshot even that they have gone copy paste into document and then exported a PDF. For those who don't know, when you make a PDF, the images get compressed. So they go through what's called a JPEG compression, which is a lossy compression, and that means that the image loses some of its data and you get this kind of effect. So like I've spoken about on other streams, where you get blocks of pixels that look all very similar to one another because the file format only remembers this block. It doesn't remember every single pixel information, every piece of pixel information. So it throws data away. Now, I would hope that the actual image, like the original image with its metadata, is supplied to the defense. I'm sure it would be, but I don't have it.
Supposedly Court TV is a better quality of this photo.
You would think that would, well, okay, maybe they've FOIA'd or something like that and gotten the actual file, which could be a JPEG, it could be, I think he had an Android, so it wouldn't be one of those HEIC ones that you get off iPhones. So
is that iPhone?
Yeah. So he gets he had an Android in 2022. I don't know how old the phone was. I don't know the model. But all I've got to go on is this, right? Now, if you look at it, it's pretty rubbish. Like, look at it. So it's like the contrast is completely blown out on it. And it's that. Here's what's interesting about that though. That means that his eyes look darker.
Oh.
So this is what happens when it's called the black and white point, right? So what's happened is the darkest parts have been made darker. And generally when contrast is increased, the lightest parts are made lighter as well. Not sure if that's actually occurred here, but definitely the darkest parts have been made darker. So the black point, where the black point is, has been increased. So I'll show you what that means. So go image adjustments, and curves. cool. All right. So if we go and have a look at, okay, we can set the white point or we can set the black point. So at the moment, the darkest part of the image is that, right? That's fine. But then if we were to go, no, actually, I'd like the darkest part of the image to be a lighter area, like so. This is what happens, right? So you get you get this kind of thing occurring. So I'm assuming that when this was shot, it looked a bit more like that, right? Like a bit lighter through the shadows, yeah. But I don't know, right? I don't know for sure because I don't have the original, and I don't have the data in here to pull out, right? Because it's already been made really, really dark. But I can make it even darker. Like I can make the black point even go further so that his eyes look even darker than they started off, see? Right? Yeah? Yeah. So if I go like that and I turn that off and on, suddenly his eyebrows look a lot bushier than they did before. Yeah? So this is the original. When I say original, it's the one that's in the exhibit. And I'm sus on it because look at that. There's just no detail in the headpiece that he's wearing, right? You would think that if it was just like a black headpiece of some sort, there would be some sort of highlight on it. You'd see some sort of tonal value to it.
Color, yeah.
But there's just nothing. It's just a block, right? So that makes me go, okay, so if you were to apply that theory to the rest of the image and go, what if you made it even darker in the shadows through to the almost midtones, so a little bit through those darker areas, and made it even heavier, it shows you what that does, right? So it can make it even more appear like he's got bushier eyebrows, you see?
Yeah.
Right. Now, I don't have the original, so I can't say what it looked like to start off with, but I do think that it would have been lighter than this. Right? Now, does it matter? It matters to what people in the general public are seeing at the moment because they're seeing something and they're going, oh, yeah, he got fully bushy eyebrows there. What are you talking about? Everyone up till now has been going, oh, he doesn't have bushy eyebrows. What are you talking about? Like, it's not that big of a deal. It's kind of bushy, but that day he had big time bushy eyebrows. Look how dark they were. Yeah, I'll just turn that off. So that photo there, I think his eyebrows and his eyes look darker and more like, yeah, bushy than they have in other photos. I don't know what you guys think, but I think so, right? He also looks pasty and, for lack of a better word, creepy, I guess. It's just a terrible photo of him.
Yeah.
And it's great for the prosecution. They love things like this. So yeah, photo was next morning around 10 a.m., 10:19 a.m. apparently. Make the photo look the best case for Kohberger. Yeah, good luck. Hey, Miku's headphones. You can take mirror selfies without the phone in the photo. It's about angles. Oh, you're wondering how there's no phone showing? That's a good question. Yeah, is it? Yeah, okay. So the question is, is he in the mirror or is it just a selfie? I think it's just a selfie. I don't think there's a mirror. Well, there may be a mirror, but I don't think he's actually going like that. I think he's going like that.
He looks, yeah, he, I don't, to me, looks depressed, but like he's trying to kind of fake it.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is it's not said in the document, unless I've missed it, who he was sending it to, what the image was for, right? So did he just take the photo? Did he send it to somebody? What's that image all about? Like, it, for me, it looks like something you'd send your mum, like on your way to a job interview or something. Like, have a good day, off to work, something like that. I don't know. Now, in regard to the looking sickly, now apparently this is kind of sad. And I'm not sure if this is in the court documents. I don't think it is actually. Apparently he suffered from an eating disorder. Because he had been quite big. He had been a big guy in high school, and he lost a lot of weight. And he struggled with his eating over the years. So, and he's had battles with depression and drug use and things like that. So what we might be looking at here is not a very well guy. And that could explain some of the sort of paciness to his face and the skinny, gaunt kind of look.
I mean, just the expression to me looks like somebody who's trying to be happy, shows themselves outwardly as happy, but inside they're very depressed.
Yeah, he does eat vegan. Yeah. Yeah, topo vegans like him are always super skinny because they can basically never eat out. Self-affirmation selfie, I'm okay, you're okay, let's tackle another day image. Yeah. Vegetarian, lack of iron can make you anemic. Yeah, vegan. Imagine him now in prison, like he's being given beans and rice.
Well, he's lost weight though, hasn't he?
And just recently he's lost a lot of weight. Yeah, he was okay when they sent him over to Ada County, and because his face looked kind of full then, and just in the last sort of 6 months, he's really deteriorated. No shower curtain already. Remember that was a big deal when apartment was searched. So you think that's not a shower curtain? Because that looks a lot like a shower curtain to me.
It could be like the wall, but it bows out, which is...
It bows out from there, yeah.
And also, yeah, it looks like...
And the search of the apartment was like a month later. So if it is a shower curtain, it's pretty clean looking there. But the whole bathroom looks clean.
Guilty.
He looks like a clean freak. Guilty. All right. Another thing about this photo before we move on is people are saying that he's got cuts on his hands. Don't know. So yeah, that looks like a bit of a mark.
I mean, does he have cats?
I don't know. That could be a mark there.
Or a mole, or...
Yeah.
I don't see. Somebody said they had a thing on his thumb.
A thing on his thumb?
I don't see anything.
Yeah. I mean, and because his knuckles are all pale. I can't remember what people were saying about that.
It means Mercury is in retrograde.
Yeah. And one more thing, and that is that because he's wearing his shirt all buttoned up there, he's trying to hide cuts and stuff.
Buttons the top button.
Yeah.
Guilty.
Yeah. At the end of the line, nothing that you would expect to see after a battle like we've been described happened the night before. Right? I think not. I personally, I don't think this photo means anything other than it's giving the media something to pore over and taint the jury pool. It's really irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant. We can look at the document and see why they're saying it's relevant, but I don't think. I think their real game is to just try and get something out there that is incriminating, that looks incriminating, because people are loving this. Like having something visual to put all over news sites, and for the guilt YouTubers and things like that to put all over everything and go guilty narcissist. They've been waiting for something like this. So and to put it in some kind of context, they're releasing DM statements, and so it's perfect timing. He looks pretty awake for a big night out. Oh, that's actually end of line. That's another thing. People are saying the opposite. He looks like someone who hasn't slept.
Yeah.
But
that also
he
goes
says
with
he hasn't slept.
That goes with his alibi.
His alibi is he hasn't slept. He was out driving and he was
insomnia.
over at Hawaii Park.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's kind of
he
irrelevant.
Hasn't slept. He's an insomniac. That's part of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's not going to help you. Both sides are drowning the other in paperwork, and that's pretty normal for a big case like this. I've followed a few of them now, and there's, especially when it comes to motions in limine, there tends to be a big flurry when the deadlines for motion in limine come up. They just go boom, 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 and they're really big, long documents, and it happens. I think it's sad. Me too. I look at this photo. I think it's a pretty sad photo. Hey, Depths in Space. How are you? I too have insomnia and look like this picture.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure you're very handsome, Baldo Washer. Oh, hey, Jeff H. If it's true, he went back to the scene of the crime around 9, got home around 9:30, and then is all showered up, looking good for this photo at 10:30 for his mission accomplished pose. Hey, great point. Ha. That's a good one. How far away is it exactly between... It's not that far. It's like 10 minutes, isn't it? A 10, 20 minutes drive between the house and his apartment in Pullman. So if it's true, he went back to the scene of the crime around 9, got home around 9:30, and then is all showered up looking good for this photo. Well, I mean, okay, so the state or the guilters would say, well, he had plenty of time because he could have driven home during the night or washed up or something in the middle of it. And who said he didn't go home during the night? Who said he was out driving all night? Like, he could have gone home and washed up, then come back to the scene. But you're right, that's a short period of time. But it's a good point. It's a good point. They don't need him to have been back at the crime scene. They could lose that from their argument. It helps. It helps their argument. 20 minutes max. Yeah. Thanks, Northwest. Hey, Chilo, how are you? Deanna says, I wonder if he was talking earbuds to his mum or other family member for some reason they asked for the picture. Yeah, see, I'm so interested to see the defense's response to this. Yeah. So they still can respond to this response to defense motion in limine. So this is the state's response to defense motion in limine. So they still have another chance to respond. So I'm really keen to see what they say. So let's have a look now at the document that goes with this. Hang on. Would I be better off opening this in a separate tab? Maybe. Okay, so it's got a bunch of, I've highlighted it out. So it's got a bunch of words from DM. Yeah, I am. I'm just going to stop share for a sec. And share window. That one, go. All right, that's a bit better. So what we're looking at is, go to the top. So state's response to defendant's motion in limine number 7, witness identification by bushy eyebrows. Bushy eyebrows. Comes now, State of Idaho by and through later County Prosecuting Attorney, and hereby responds to defense's motion in limine number 7, re-witness identification by bushy eyebrows. Defendant's basis for his motion are the Idaho Rules of Evidence, Rules 403, 601, and 602. Applying the Idaho Rules of Evidence to the facts of the case at hand, the court should find DM's description of the intruder, including that he had bushy eyebrows, admissible. The state incorporates its previously filed state's motion in limine, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So the defense had been trying to get Dylan's words thrown out because she had stated very clearly that she had been drunk, intoxicated, and she couldn't recall details. Fairly good reason, I would think, to have her testimony thrown out. But this is their response. Oh, so the other reason is because there was artwork in her room of bushy eyebrows.
Mm.
As you do.
Oh, creepy. But...
So, yeah, well, each to their own. So I was just going to skip to the parts that she said. So they're coming along and going, no, her testimony is definitely relevant, and here's some of the things that she said. So DM opened her door and saw someone, because from my mind, it's like I was almost wearing these like blurry glasses. Like, do you want to read this?
Yeah. Someone, because it like from my mind, it's like I was almost wearing these like blurry glasses. Like it's fuzzy and cloudy, but it was like a figure of someone wearing all black, and it was like they had a ski mask that was covering their forehead and their chin and mouth, but I could see all I remember was seeing their eyebrows, and I don't remember what their eyes looked like, but I remember their eyebrows. I don't remember the color the eyebrows were. I just remember like bushy eyebrows. That's all I could think about. Grody.
I'm just really like, okay. Again, she described the male. I knew he looked at me because I could see his eyebrows. I think I just saw one eyebrow. I don't know.
He's a cyclops.
Why or how? It's Cyclops. She saw one eyebrow? Okay. Okay, this bit.
I don't know, like weird looking ski mask. It wasn't like the regular ski mask with like eyes and, because I saw his eyebrows and I think I saw his nose and like this part of his face but I don't know.
Oh, this is Detective Gooch.
Gooch man. The Gooch Meister.
Yeah, Detective Gooch asked DM if she knew what a balaclava was and showed her a picture.
Does it have like eyebrows on it?
Here's the balaclava with eyebrows painted on.
Oh God. Don't ever ask her to play with a Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah. In response, Mr. Potato Head did it.
He only puts eyebrows on him.
Yeah. Okay. So in response and addressing whether she could see the male's mouth, DM stated,
no. And I don't remember if I saw it. Like, I don't remember if I saw his nose, but I know I saw eyebrows. What? Oh, God. This is like a detective's worst eyewitness. No offense to her. I'm just...
Yeah.
And I don't remember his eyes. I just feel like I can see eyebrows. Eyebrows looked at me in my soul. But I mean, that could be it. I mean, that would make sense why the forehead was covered and this part of his face was covered.
Hang on, she didn't say my soul, did she?
No.
Okay, right. Just checking. I looked away. I was like, what? Okay. The investigators inquired if DM could provide a composite for an artist. DM responded,
No, I don't remember what his eyes looked like. I don't remember what his nose looked like. I just remember eyebrows. I don't know exactly what the eyebrows looked like at all, really. I just remember thinking like, oh, eyebrows.
oh, sorry.
I want to make fun of her, but good Lord, girl.
I didn't want to make fun of her either, but come on. Oh.
Yeah, bushy. Oh. Sorry. But
Maybe
that's
like
all.
a mask that was crafted from stuff you'd buy at Joanne Fabrics, okay? Make it make sense.
Like,
right?
I don't remember the shape. I don't remember like the color. I just remember like bushy eyebrows. That's the only thing I can remember.
How can you not remember the color? If you can remember that something is that they're bushy eyebrows, so surely you can remember if they're like light colored or dark colored.
Look,
Right?
I am
Like-
off. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like,
go ahead.
are they ginger? Are they gray? Are they
White.
white? Like, give us something, girl. Like, you really, really focused in on those eyebrows, right?
Yeah. And look, I would be an awful witness as well in this place. I could not, like, from memory, draw somebody's face or tell somebody details of somebody's face. But I don't understand why she's just focusing on the eyebrows. Like, they're just normal eyebrows.
Well, clearly the person she saw had giant motherfucking eyebrows. Like, it was just one big monobrow. At one point, she was just like thinking it was one eyebrow, right?
So he had a unibrow.
He had a unibrow.
Was it my grandfather?
I don't know. Ask him.
He's dead, so
Yeah.
a perfect alibi.
Yeah. Do you need to pop off?
Yeah, I do. So carry on.
Cool. All right. Okay. See ya.
Bye.
All right. So, again, DM described a ski mask. I couldn't see any of his hair, but I remember just like seeing like if it was like almost rectangular, like not the circle ones. Right. So she's talking about the mask that it must have been like a rectangular shape here. Okay. It was rectangular because I can remember seeing like just like I don't know how to explain it. Just seeing like this, maybe I'd be able to see like a cross. But I don't remember seeing his eyes. But I feel like his eyes were there. I hope they were there. I could just see like an eyebrow. I feel like that's how I know he saw me because I could see his eyebrow. Like if I could see his eyebrow, he could see me. Which, oh, okay, like Bert and Ernie. Bert especially had like a really big eyebrow, right? From what I remember, I think he was just like walking past that little wall and going towards the kitchen. And I don't know, like I just remember seeing an eyebrow. I don't know why, I just see one. It was just like one bushy eyebrow. I don't remember the color, like the full shape. I just remember it being bushy. What the hell? Okay, I don't really have I don't have a problem with her. I have a problem with the description. I feel like she can't identify anybody. This is a bridge guy situation. We have an unidentifiable person because all you've got is an eyebrow. And she's also going to say this, that she described his clothing again, stating the male was wearing black long sleeves, black pants, and black boots. DM drew the mask for the interviewer. While drawing, she gave a consistent description of the mask and noted the eyebrows. I don't remember if I saw one or two, like it was just weird. Now, she couldn't identify Bryan Kohberger. So we're going to move on. I'll show you this. The interviewer asked, this Bryan Kohberger, the person that you saw in this mugshot, is that the person you saw in your house? And she said, I have no clue. From what I remember, I just remember seeing this figure that was like not fat, obviously, but more of like the skinnier tone build and some mask on. I don't know what the mask exactly was, but when I thought about it, it was just like covering here. I'm sure she's showing. I don't know if it was covering his mouth, his nose, or below his mouth and nose. Okay. I just remember knowing he was white, but I didn't know how he was white. I just know he was. And this, knowing there's like, I knew he had looked at me because of the bushy eyebrow. That's all I remember. But I have no idea what he looked like. That's important. I have no idea what he looked like. I don't, like when I looked at his picture, nothing came back to me at all. So that like, I don't know. I feel like if I saw that, my mind would be like, oh yeah, that's him. But it just, I don't remember at all. So there you go. All I remember, but I don't remember big nose at all, like at all. That's like, all I remember is like some bushy eyebrow in all black and some sort of mask, but it wasn't like one of those circle ski masks. That's all I remember. So I feel like she's being, if that's what she saw, she's not trying to make it into something it's not. She's not trying to go, oh yeah, that's him. Sure, okay, whatever you say. I don't really have a problem with her testifying if that's what she's going to say. Like, she sounds like she's being honest. So if the defense motion in limine to exclude the bushy eyebrows is just going to elicit this kind of testimony, okay. I don't think it's bad for him. A figure in all black, which I believe was a person. I knew the person was white. I don't know how. I just knew it. Knew it was male. I think I knew that because of the voice. The person was around my height or a few inches taller. Okay, so they're going to use that. And then I knew his build wasn't like scrawny and he wasn't fat. So I figured it was like basketball toned lean build. Now, hang on a minute. Not scrawny, hey? Not scrawny. What do you guys think? Bryan's pretty fucking scrawny looking there. Like, there's been times over the years we've seen photos when he hasn't been scrawny, but that day, he looked pretty goddamn scrawny. So, yeah, Miku's heaven. Because remember, she's the one who said that he said, don't worry, I'm going to help you. Yeah. His picture, not a photo lineup. There is something in here about the way that they showed the images to her. Hang on. Regarding lengths of time between the crime and identification, no, there was something about how they did it. There's some case law regarding the 6-person lineup. Sorry, I'd have to go through it and pull it up separately. Hang on. Photograph taken by phone. I don't think they would. Here it is. Sorry. Even if the court employs the Manson-Briggs balancing test to the facts of the case, the court should find that DM's description, including bushy eyebrows, are reliable. No, that's not the part. Sorry. yeah, that's a really good point, but I don't think they would have gotten away with just showing him showing them one photo of Bryan Kohberger and saying, "Is that him?" There would have had to have been a lineup, and then after he was actually identified as a suspect and probable cause was found, then she would have been able to see him because everyone else can. Okay. So DM responded, "I have no clue." She relayed to Detective Lake the person she saw had a mask on. This questioning of DM is not a witness identification. This is a state saying that. This is not a witness identification. There was no law enforcement procedure employed to suggest identification. Most importantly, there was no identification by DM. After seeing a picture of Bryan Kohberger, DM could not say that he was the male she saw November 13, 2022. DM's multiple descriptions of the male were based on her own recollection and were not the result of suggestive identification procedures employed by law enforcement. Thus, the Manson-Biggers test is inapplicable. Okay, right. So they didn't have to go through that process because she just voluntarily supplied that. It doesn't matter though, because apparently it's not an identification. Jury's supposed to just take it for what it's worth. This only proves that DM would have a degree of attention to his facial characteristics, thus reinforcing her reliability. Defendant states, Mr. Kohberger does not have bushy eyebrows. Here we go. The state intends to introduce a photograph of Bryan Kohberger taken from his phone on November 13, 2022, only hours after the homicides at 10:31 a.m. Oh, sorry, 10:31 a.m. It wasn't 10:19. So I think Brian Etten might have gotten it wrong. See State's Exhibit S5. That's the one we were just looking at. That's his photo. Whether or not Bryan Kohberger can be described as having bushy eyebrows is a factual determination to be decided by the jury. Well, my argument is that photo, the black levels, so it's called the black point, in layman's terms, is just the shadows, right? So the shadows are ramped up in that photo, right? That is not a clear depiction of the person. I want the original. I want to see the metadata. I want an expert to be testifying and explaining to the jury how that works, because it's very clear. It's super duper clear. Look at this. I don't need to be back in Photoshop. I can just zoom in on the damn thing. His eyes and eye sockets are darker than they would have been in reality. Absolutely. Right? And you can tell because look at the headpiece. Look at his hair. There's no detail in his hair. Like none. It's just one big blob of black. If this was a true representation of his face, then you'd be able to see detail in his hair, right? Well, you can't. So therefore, the shadows in here, in his eyes, and under his brow bone, they're all far heavier than they would have been in reality. So, I mean, state might argue that it was also dark in the house, okay? But you can't judge. You can't judge the two things without seeing them both together. Unless there's a photo of him in the house, or the suspect in the house, which there's not, as far as I know. If there was, I think we'd know about it, right? Unless there's a photo of him in the house that you can compare to that, then it's comparing apples to oranges. So he looks stretched too. His forehead is strong. Okay, so I wish I had it on hand, but there's a a few videos and things about how cameras, especially selfie cameras, they make you look weird. They make you look a bit different. It's to do with the focal length of the camera lens. So they can make your face look quite distorted. And yeah, depending on how far away you are, it can make either your forehead bigger or your cheekbones like sort of jut out and your chin recede. So your whole face shape can change quite dramatically with like a selfie camera as compared to a conventional camera. So that's why he looks really kind of alien-like in some of these like selfie photos that have been taken of him, as compared to, say, for example, a minute. Oops. That's his driver's license photo. And here we go, driver's license photo. So see the shape of his head there? See how different it is to the other photo? It's a really good point that you just brought up. His forehead's quite normal looking. The shape of his face quite normal looking compared to the previous photo. Oops. Back. Where it looks kind of distorted and alien-like, right? Yeah, so it's just not a good representation. He's not smiling because his vampire teeth haven't retracted yet. Okay, so one other thing I want to talk about is this. So, the state's motion in limine to defense. Sorry, response to defense motion in limine excluding Amazon click activity evidence at trial. So this is the one that's got everyone up in arms, in terms of, oh, we got him. Sarita Banana! To see his face so close brought tears to my eyes. He probably doesn't experience many moments of confidence and then takes a selfie. Now his deepest anxieties and fears of worthlessness and being judged are confirmed. Oh, that's so sweet of you. Like, to have such empathy for somebody who is going through something like this, Sarita. See, this is you're the kind of person I like to attract around here. You're wonderful. Thank you for the super chat, for your support of the channel generally. And then Chilo says, he looks soulless and inhuman. Cool. Yeah, that's what people are saying, mate. That's what they're saying. It's because he used the bathroom filter. Yeah. We all need to avoid that bathroom filter. It's disgusting. Okay, so this is the big one, right? And it's interesting because it's probably the first bit of real incriminating evidence that has come out against Bryan Kohberger since the very beginning, right? Because everything that's come out since he was arrested and indicted, it's all gone backwards for the state. So the defense has been debunking, and the state has had to backpedal on so much, including, if you remember, all that stuff about him stalking the victims. That was all debunked, right? There was this thing about his phone connecting to the Wi-Fi in the house. That was debunked, right? Most people don't even know this because there's still such bullshit getting around. But that car, that white Elantra, there is nothing in any of the documents we have, nothing in evidence that we know. I mean, nothing's in evidence. Like, officially, the trial hasn't started, but nothing has been released to show that that's his car. We're not even sure that it's a white Elantra. We got photos that make it look more like a Nissan Sentra, right? And a lot of the footage looks like it's got a sunroof on top of it. So it's like there's wide belief that his car was driving up and down King Road that night. There's no proof of that. There's no photos of that. There's nothing showing his tags on his car. Nothing. Zero. Zilch. Right? So that has been not debunked as much, but it's not clearly true. Right? So unless the state comes along and goes, hey, we've got this footage and it's got your tags on it, and we can clearly show that's yours, then it's not true. It's just not a fact, right? So there's that. The biggest one, as far as I'm concerned, is the cell data. His phone, not being within the geofence area, which is the crime scene area, and the state going and using the fact that his phone wasn't responding to the cellular network as supposedly being him being such a smart murderer and turning the phone off. Well, the defense has an expert who is looking at the data and saying, actually, he was just in a low coverage area, which was 40 miles to the west. So take that, put it in your pipe and smoke it. Also, all of the other cell tower pings that you've got, don't put him near the house. Don't put him on the street. They put him like within a couple of miles of the house. So also take that and put it in your pipe and smoke it too, right? So if you start to take all those layers away of the state's case, well, they're left with very little. They're left with an object in the house with the teensy little bit of DNA on it, which isn't the murder weapon. So now, finally, the state is coming out with something that is remotely incriminating. And it really is the first thing since the beginning. And the public, and the media especially, is like, yes, told you they'd have more, told you, it's taken this long. But, here's the thing. What isn't being said is that even this state's document here doesn't say definitively that it was Bryan's purchase of a knife. And the other thing that we all need to keep in mind is buying a knife doesn't make it your knife that killed those people. Doesn't. So it's still very circumstantial evidence. It's not good, but it's still circumstantial. And if all we've got is him buying a knife 10 months ago and a sheath in the house that happens to have a bit of his DNA on it and nothing else, absolutely nothing else, is that enough to convict somebody beyond a reasonable doubt of a quadruple homicide? I say no. I think there needs to be a ton more than that. So, let's look at this. So most of this document is about the state responding to the defense wanting to exclude the Amazon search history. And I was referring to that earlier in the stream. So about him searching potentially for knives, looking at them, having them come up in his suggested products and clicking on things. So the defense had put forth a motion in limine to suppress all of that. And the state's come along and gone, well, that's all relevant. And not only that, we've got this. Ha-ha. So further, in this case, the evidence at issue is complete. The defendant argues that the data the state has disclosed to the defendant is extremely narrow when compared to the more inclusive and broad warrants and subpoenas. Defense motion at 2, but this argument is incorrect. To confirm, the state has disclosed to the defendant all data, including clickstream data, that Amazon had produced in this case. The state narrowly tailored a search warrant for evidence regarding the crimes of homicide or burglary occurring at 1122 King Road. This includes temporal limitations based on the officer's investigation, which limited the search from March 20, 2022 through March 30, 2022, in brackets, and this is the kicker, time it was known Bryan Kohberger purchased a Kabar knife with sheath and sharpener from Amazon.com. So they're saying flat out there that they know that Bryan Kohberger purchased a Kabar knife with sheath and sharpener from Amazon.com between March 20 and March 30, 2022. So 10 months prior to the crime. And November 1, 2022 through December 6, 2022, time right before and after the homicides, Kohberger's entire click history, items not related to knives and accessories, was not relevant. With any legal basis, the defendant claims the state cherry-picked specific clicks or purchases out of the Amazon click history. This is simply not true, unless you consider seeking only items of evidentiary value. Cherry-picking irrelevant click activity on Kohberger's account would not provide any relevant context to Kohberger's actual click activity, i.e. purchase of a Kabar knife with sheath before the murders, and his click activity indicating a search for a knife with sheath after the murders. So I find it really interesting that they say up here, time it was known Bryan Kohberger purchased a Kabar knife, but they leave it for a footnote at the very bottom to put this little part in. The defendant touches on the issue of identifying the account user making the Amazon search inquiries as shown by click activity. Defendant's motion at page 4. The state recognizes that the identity of the user making the inquiries is relevant. Yeah, it kind of is, isn't it? Right? So if it's a group account and like a bunch of people are using the same Amazon account to buy stuff, then it's kind of relevant who it is that bought something. Yeah? Okay, so the state intends to rely not only on click activity, but also on other circumstances to connect the defendant to the original knife purchase and subsequent search inquiries for a replacement knife. Now, hang on. Replacement knife? Replacement knife? What? So what happened to the first one? Did the first one and its sheath get lost? That's interesting. So, Beautiful Waterfall, there's a few things going on here. He clicked on a few, okay, if it was him that was logged in, because it was a group Amazon account, potentially people in his household. He was living with his family at the time back in Pennsylvania. Okay, so let me explain. I know you're confused. So let me explain. So this was back 10 months earlier. He was living back in Pennsylvania with his family. They had a group Amazon account. It may have been him. It may not have been him. But I'm sure they can work it out. I'm sure that the state can piece it together and work it out. Let's say it was him, right? Let's, for argument's sake, go, yes, it was Bryan Kohberger who bought a knife 10 months earlier on Amazon, right? But the state is even saying here that the defendant, they want to connect the defendant to the original knife purchase and subsequent search inquiries for a replacement knife and or sheath. What? Why do you think that he needed to replace that knife and or sheath? Do you have evidence or reason to believe that he lost the first one? Are we missing something here? Because remember that we're only just starting to see this stuff come out in public documents. There's a bunch of stuff still under seal from prior, right? Yeah, you didn't catch that part. Yeah. What original knife purchase? So the original knife purchase, they're saying, occurred on Amazon back in March of 2022, right? They think they've got evidence of Bryan Kohberger buying a Kabar knife and knife sheath and knife sharpener in March of 2022, right? Bought as on a shared Amazon account, used probably with other people in the household. But they're like, that's okay. We're going to bring people in so they're saying here that they're going to bring in witnesses and other things to prove it at trial that it was him that bought it. Okay, cool, right? But they're also saying that they're relying not only on the click activity, but also circumstances to connect the defendant to the original knife purchase and subsequent search inquiries for a replacement knife and or sheath. Why would he need a replacement knife and or sheath? Unless the first one went missing. And if the first one went missing, then that is a really, really bloody good reason for there to be a sheath in a house with his DNA on it, and he didn't put it there. Right? Yeah, it could have been purchased as a gift for somebody, or anyone in the group Amazon account, or it could have been lost or stolen. Who knows? Right? But that's really interesting. And this is a state's document. And they hid it in a footnote. Yeah? So Brian Etten and what's-her-face, Banfield, they're not talking about this footnote. The click activities vis-a-vis other events, this will include the defendant's financial activities, the click activities vis-a-vis other events, such as the homicides, a related purchase activity connected to only the defendant, and testimony from witnesses with knowledge that the defendant purchased a Kabar knife. Well, great. Okay, sure. All right. So if you're going to try and prove at trial that he bought this Kabar knife in March. So firstly, I just want to say that all these people who are getting out there on social media and in the media are saying, okay, done, he bought a Kabar knife. Not even the state is saying that he definitely bought a Kabar knife. They're completely admitting that they are going to have to try and prove it at trial based on bringing in witness testimony, and other click activity, related purchase activity. So they're not even 100%, like they're not like, here it is, got it, done, right? So firstly, they don't have that. Secondly, there's this other question, what the hell are they talking about him needing a replacement knife and sheath? What's that? Yeah. I think they're saying that they're going to look at the click activities from the same time frame as the purchase to try to connect BK to the purchase. Yes, they are. They're going to do that, but they're also going to bring witnesses in to say, oh, yeah, I remember him buying one. Yeah. Yeah, and I didn't like him either in high school. Yeah, he stole my eraser. Yeah. Does Brian's bank account back up that he actually bought the knife? And they made that too. They say financial activities. This will include defendant's financial activities. So yeah, it might be that they bring that in and go, yeah, okay, so the $200 or something it costs for this knife, because they're not cheap, came out of your bank account. So it definitely was you, right? Okay, cool, you bought it. But then why were you looking for another one? What happened to the first one? Why are you, the state, referring to it as a replacement knife and sheath? Like, that's really interesting wording, don't you think? Don't you think that's interesting that they're using that wording? Replacement knife and sheath? Like, if they thought it was just him buying another one because he's collecting knives or something, then they would say another knife and sheath. They're saying replacement knife and sheath. Yeah, how do they? Yeah, Silent G. How do they know it's a replacement? I can't wait for the defense's response to this. But of course, like the guilters, they're all out there. Like it's already a problem. It's already. Here's the thing, right? As far as the public is concerned, it's done. He bought the knife. He bought the knife. The damage is done, right? It is weird phrasing to imply he threw the first one away or he lost it. Like lawyers don't write this stuff in documents with wording like that for no reason. Right? We've been following these things long enough, right, by France. They don't use wording like that for nothing. If they've got something really solid, they'll say it flat out. And when they put things like that in the footnotes, that's sus. That means there's more to this. So they're saying subsequently, meaning later on in time, maybe there was a specific search for a Kabar replacement knife sheath. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. 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 They know what they're doing using such wording. Yes, they do. They don't just go replacement. They don't just say the word replacement without thinking about that. That's a biggie. That's a biggie. But the damage is done. As far as I'm concerned, the public thinks he bought the knife. The potential jury pool thinks he bought the knife, right? It's out there. You can't unring the bell, it's done, right? And the state will say in opening statements that the evidence will show that he bought, I hope they don't say the Kabar knife, but a Kabar knife, March 2022. And they probably, I don't know if they'll even say that he was looking for a replacement one. All they'll remember is he bought the knife in March 2022. Right? Yep, it's intentional. They put it in the footnotes intentionally to mislead. Yeah, they do that. They do that, right? But Silent G, it's a wrap. It is 100% a wrap. And I've said it a few times already. Like he's going to be found guilty. There's no question. He's screwed. He is screwed. The unbiased media are treating this like the nail in his coffin. Oh, of course they are. Of course they are. They've been waiting for something like this for so long. Because nothing has been coming out. Like there's been nothing remotely incriminating for 2+ years, right? Everything that's come out, they've had to twist it around to make it look like it's incriminating. This actually sounds incriminating. And look, it's not good. It doesn't look good. Totally. Like Andrea put out a tweet about it yesterday. She said like this is potentially really strong for the prosecution. Yeah. I agree. This is bad. It looks really bad. But if he bought that and it disappeared, it's gone somehow from his possession, that's actually a really good trail to how his DNA ended up on an object in that house and he was never there. So that's reasonable doubt for you. But I've said it before, people do not get reasonable doubt. Right, Seraph? Right? No, they don't understand reasonable doubt. So, yeah, dude was guilty to a jury once they said DNA. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There's also a couple of motions in limine and arguments about the use of the wording touch and trace DNA. So they have the state has a expert called Claire Nolan, and she's going to testify that touch DNA generally means that you touch something. Done. Yeah. You thought that was my daughter. Well, you are a baby, aren't you? Hey? You're more whiny than a child most days. Yep. Yeah, she's gonna say that. It says it in the document that this is what she's going to testify to, and it's point by point. So it's not good. State's use of replacement is going to make the "he lost it" sound like the most reasonable answer. Yes, pink slime, but I think it's too little, too late. You look handsome with your collar on. He's like, I hate the collar. It demeans me. He is beautiful. Well, if he's not guilty, he should tell them whose nice chic he goes around playing grab hats with. I'm starting to wonder if he's going to testify. I almost feel like his only hope is to testify. Because let's assume that, and I'm gonna be really honest with you guys here, right? I believe he's innocent, and the reason I believe he's innocent is because his lawyers put their whole reputation on the line going into open court and saying, we firmly believe in Bryan's innocence, right? And I know from knowing defense lawyers personally that is just not done, right? That is a big, big deal. People think that that's nothing, like that's what defense lawyers do. They go, of course my client's innocent. No, they say my client is not guilty and the evidence shows this and that. They don't go into open court and go, my client is innocent. They don't. Especially death penalty certified, state appointed defense attorneys, right? Like Ann Taylor and Eliza Massoff. I can't say her name. To save my life, I can't say her name. But they don't. They just don't. And I've seen the reactions of the lawyers when they've heard this, like Andrea and Sean and Andrew, when they've heard this, they've gone like, oh no, that's just not a thing. Like for them to say that is they must know something. But generally, yeah, people look at that and go, well, yeah, that's what defense lawyers do. No, that's not what defense lawyers do. So for me, I believe that they've seen something that exonerates him. They've even used the word exonerate in his alibi document. That the evidence that will come out from the cell data will exonerate him. It's a huge word to use. So I believe he's innocent. And if he's innocent, then I think testifying might be his only hope. Because I don't think that the testimony from his expert witnesses is going to make any difference. I think the jury will fall asleep. I think that they're just going to go, oh yeah, they're just hired. Of course they'll say that stuff. And of course his attorneys are right behind him, of course. They'll say all that. They'll throw everything at the wall for him, all that kind of thing. I think the only thing that really resonates with jurors is when they start to see the humanity in somebody and they start to buy more into their personal story. So if he can get up on that stand and tell people that it wasn't him and this is why, and he can handle cross-examination, that might be his only hope. Maybe he can. Seems like a smart dude. Yeah. Autistic people testify, y'all. I don't know what this guy's like as a speaker. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to watch the trial with no preconceived opinion. That's why I haven't been watching the hearings. Now, here's the thing, right? Though beautiful waterfall. And that's interesting you say that. I have no problem watching the trial feeling that he's innocent, because I like to watch all trials starting with the feeling that someone's innocent, because there's a presumption of innocence, right? So what I would like to try and do is block out some of the prior facts that I know, especially things that the jury's not going to see, like things that I know that the jury it's going to have excluded from them. So these motions in limine are important. Motions to suppress are important. So I try at the beginning to just go, okay, they're not going to know about that, that, and that. So I have to just take them away from my mind. But I'm okay with starting thinking that someone's innocent, because you're supposed to, I think. You're supposed to. And I like to look at it as, even if I'm erring towards thinking that the person was erring towards thinking the person was guilty, I'd like to go, okay, but you guys, prosecutors, you need to work your butts off to show me why I should believe you. Like, you got nothing. Come at me. Come on. Give it your best. You really need to work, because this guy's like, he's given up his whole life and maybe getting in front of a firing squad. So this is not a game. Not a game. Yeah. So, yeah, that's how I like to look at it. You got nothing. You guys got nothing. You start from the beginning. I'll be watching it with fresh eyes, like we hope the jury will be. Yeah, well, yeah, we hope. We hope. I'm autistic and it's a weird situation. I do very well with language, but if we communicated musically, I would be completely unable to communicate beyond a toddler level. Musically. Interesting. Interesting. Cool. All right, we're going to end up now. Thank you so much for hanging out, everybody. It's been a good stream. I've enjoyed chatting with you all. And thank you for the support and donations. I really need it. My daughter's turning 13 this weekend, so lots of expenses. And also, oh my God, my life for the next few years. Oh dear, it's all starting. It's all starting. So yeah, happy birthday to my daughter if she sees it. By the way, she's doing civics classes at school, and her teacher said to her, or said to all the class, you guys all need to pick like a case to go and follow. And my daughter goes, Kohberger. And the teacher goes, who's that? Is it all right if I do a US case? Because I want to do Bryan Kohberger. He's accused of a quadruple murder, but I think he's innocent. And the teacher was like, okay, if you can find out about it. And she's like, I can, I've got all the documents. Yeah, she's in grade 8. How funny is that? I said, yeah, so I sent her the link to all the documents, and I said, okay, but there's a lot there, love, so you might need me to explain some of it. She's like, I'll be okay. I'll be fine. Okay. Have fun. Too cute. No, not Karen Reese. No, not Maddie Soto. No. And so thank you, Shami. Thank you. She's going to get her haircut. She's going to get like a shorter haircut tomorrow, and like all grown up kind of thing. So she is adorable. She is. She likes to rickroll people. She's very cute. Okay, time to go. Time for the song.
Her name was Ella. She was an Aussie. She was a fake lawyer from the future. She got on YouTube and made some live streams. host is Dolly and she dances sometimes. The words are always so loud and because she's an 803. To the attention, excited utterance. Her cat is staring for